This year we are, as you can see, at the Maple on Board Vanguard booth, who's very kindly giving us some space so we can do the reviews and the interviews straight from here, which means that we have loads and loads, as in dozens of games that we want to show you. Welcome to So Play We All at Spiel 2024. You can always trust Japanime games to take you places. Last year, they took us into a sushi boat. This year, they're taking us into a Granblue Fantasy.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not good. Eric, welcome. Welcome back. Always very good to see you
Yes.
here. Holy Jesus, what? This is huge.
It's pretty great. We spent about 3 years getting this game out and just released it earlier this year, back in June, and at Origins Games Fair. And this is Japanime Tactics, the game system. The game is going to bring several different IPs into it, the first one being Granblue Fantasy. Granblue Fantasy is a gigantic, it's one of the most popular mobile games in Japan, and it's also an anime, so it's got all kinds of connections.
Yes. Cross-media.
Exactly.
Cool.
And we've been working with them on this project for many years. Finally got this out. Sword Art Online is the next project that'll be going into production later this month.
Wow.
And then we've got a variety of other things that I can't talk about yet. But
I like that you cannot talk about that, because that means that we will get the chance to talk about them next time.
Yeah.
So it's a promise for the future, as
That's
far as I can say. Okay, tell me about Granblue Fantasy. How does it play? What is this all about on the table?
This is a very expandable board game. It's a board game meets a miniatures game meets a trading card game, in that it's got collectability factored into it. But I designed it so that we have the best of both worlds.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, with the expandability, there's 2 different starter boxes featuring 4 characters each. And then there's this expansion set that has 12 different characters in the set. And if you buy the display box, you get all 12 characters. So that way, a person who wants to just buy everything can buy all the characters, and they have everything available. But we also included foil cards randomly in these character packs. So if you want to collect it, there's collections to go after. We've got special promo cards with for organized play and retailer rewards and things like that. But great foil cards that are part of the presentation, but it's designed so you don't have to chase anything if you just want to play the game.
Okay. And I have to say, the foil cards look super foily and super cute. I mean, they look absolutely gorgeous. Very, very nice. And the other thing is that each one of those little boxes comes with one of these.
Yes, in a character pack or a booster pack, it has 1 acrylic standee and 7 cards. There are 6 cards that are called action cards, and 1 card that is the stat card or the character card. The cards that designate for the 4 characters on your team play out in front of you. You take the 6 action cards from each character and shuffle them together into a 24-card deck. So you're playing with all of these cards, but only the action cards go in your deck. Now, when you decide which 4 characters you want to play, you lay those out here, you set them up on the board, you're going to take your action cards and play them here. Your opponent would do the same. This is just set up here to show you how one side would be playing, basically. Now, excuse me, there are 6 rounds in the game. A round is finished once you've done all of the actions on your side, activated each one of your characters. When you start, you're going to have 5 cards in your hand. You can activate any one of these characters with any one of these cards. When you activate a character, you tap it to show that that's the one that's active on this turn. And then you're going to play a card to activate it. Some of these cards, most of the cards actually have text on them that do something, but also you use it to do different types of things. There's defense, there's attack, there's movement, and there's action. So let's say I wanted to use Catalina for movement. Since this card right here has the movement icon and it's purple, well, it's green for movement for her, but I would get a +1 bonus using this card for her movement. So instead of 2, it would go up to 3.
Okay.
But if I were to use something that was green, none of my cards are green, I also would get a +1 bonus. But if I had a green movement, I get +2. So you get double bonus on something like that. If I were to say attack with this one, this is purple and an attack, and this has purple attack on it. So I would get a +2 bonus on that attack.
Okay.
So you go back and forth, you have movement, and then you have your actions. And then your opponent would do movement and their actions on each character. And so you go back and forth, activating a character, moving and attacking. You're taking them down in hit points, using these counters to show how much damage they've taken. If they get down to 0, you win 6 victory points.
Okay.
So they get knocked out, you win 6 victory points. Also, at the end of any round, a round ends once all actions are depleted. Any characters that are on that center point would gain you 2 victory points as a King of the Hill mechanism. The command card in the center allows you to untap any character. So any one character on your team, you can untap and then do another action. So it's like basically you would have 5 activations on your turn, or in the round, I should say. But you use the command card to surprise, untap one of them, and then you can do a defense with it or whatever. That's basically how the turn goes back and forth. The first player to get to 20 points wins the game.
Okay.
Full game generally takes about a half an hour. There's different things on the board as far as ranged attacks. You get +1 when you're on a hill, things like that are applicable to most minis games. So there's aspects to this that miniature players are really going to easily understand. There's aspects to it that are kind of fun for trading card players, with the ability to get the chase cards, the foil cards, and things like that. And it feels a lot like a trading card game with your deck of 24 cards. So I kind of took some of my favorite things about different types of games and merged them all together.
Question for you. I presume that the squares on the board means that there are different type of terrains that take more steps to get over, or fewer, or that you cannot get through?
Right. So, for instance, going into this rubble here would slow you down by 1. So it would cost 2 movement to go into that space.
Okay.
Right. And there's the trees are actually supposed to be in these red squares with the trees over there, over here, blocks line of sight, and you can't move through the tree. You can't move through the bushes, but you can shoot over them because they're shorter. You can't move over the big rocks, they're blocking your movement as well. So there's different aspects like that.
Don't take this badly, but this is a simpler game than I'm used to from Japanime's card games.
It may feel like that, but the way you can change this game up every time you play it, it actually adds quite a bit of tactics and strategy to it.
No. I meant rules-wise. And the reason is, I not just understood what you mentioned, I think I will even be able to remember it, which is very difficult because usually my memory shuts down rules very quickly. But this, it feels like very natural.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it feels like everything is just what it says in the card.
Right.
No incredibly complex exceptions, rules to everything that you combo with other 50 cards to do one thing.
There are things where you might equip a character with different items or weapons or things of that nature as well. So that does change it up a bit while you're playing it.
I'm liking the sound of this game a lot, which is for a game like me. I am not into this kind of game, but that sounds quite interesting. What is the availability of this game? Is it already out there in the rest of Europe? Because I know it's being in Origins, the US already be there, but Europe, what about other languages? Is this going to be translated in different languages?
We are working on getting the approvals set up to do French edition and Chinese edition.
Awesome.
Because my French and Chinese partners were very interested.
Okay.
But beyond that, yes, I mean, any other languages or countries that are interested, we are open to talking about it.
Talk about it. Seriously, talk about it. Because this, it has a good feel to it. I don't know, it just feels very good. I am quite quite excited about this one, and I hope it will do incredibly well. How many characters are out there right now, and how many would you like to finish with?
There are 20 available right now.
Okay.
There's 4 in each one of the starters. There's two different starters. There's 12 in here, but there's also 4 different promo characters available. So there's actually 24 that you can get right now.
And for people who wanted to do organized play, what is the procedure? What should they do?
They should contact me, I suppose, because we're just setting up the organized play program right now. For retailers that are interested in that, we're doing an online webinar next week to teach retailers about it. But the whole thing is rolling out over the next few weeks.
Okay, perfect. I mean, if you need to know anything else, leave a comment in the video and we will find out a lot more about it. But this looks really super sweet.
An interesting
really like
note about this is there's so many trading card centric stores these days that are focused on all of the trading card games out there, and many of them are very much focused on anime trading card games. This is an anime board game meets a card game.
Yeah.
I've been talking to several of the distributors that are selling to all of these stores, and they think that this could be a really good tie-in to that market, which I'm very excited about. Because there's so many of those types of stores, and those types of players are really a great target for this type of product.
Yes. No, it feels, I think this has legs.
Yeah.
I think it really has an awful lot of legs. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else is going to come out of this and what other IPs you bring into the fray. That would be very, very exciting.
It's going to be a lot of work, but yes,
I think it will be very well worth it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. Thank you very much for being here. And as for you, we have more coming. Don't go away.